So I just finished a page of my sketchbook today and I was pondering the tiny shadow of an eye that only I can see. Well, probably. An eye that was in the wrong place initially and that I had spent quite a bit of time rendering until I realised my mistake. An eye that I then erased as best as I could without ruining the paper, and then I just kept going anyway. Have you ever found yourself frustrated by a line that went astray or a proportion that seemed off in one or many of your sketches? Perhaps you've torn pages from your sketchbook, crumpling them up in disappointment, unworthy because they did not come close to the image in your mind's eye. And guess what? We've all been there, just like my eye above. You're not alone, but my friend, these mistakes are actually stepping stones in your artistic journey, and they're evidence of growth. They're necessary and they're normal. It's all just a part of this beautiful art of imperfection. As representational artists, we seek realism, and in doing so, we often strive for perfection in capturing the essence of whatever our subject is. For me, it's our wild kin. We want to honour their beauty, their spirit, their very being. But wrapped up in that, with an unwitting influence from the culture we've grown up in, we sometimes forget a fundamental truth. Imperfection is not just natural, it's beautiful. And chasing perfection rather than celebrating connection and the wonder of the process that allows us to make art can be a limiter on our growth as artists and as humans. So I think we should start by challenging the very notion of mistakes in art, in any act of creativity. When we label something as a mistake, we're judging it against some imagined ideal of perfection. But who decides what's perfect? In nature, there's no such thing as a perfect leaf or a flawless animal. Each being is unique with their own quirks and characteristics. Why should our art be any different? I mean, we ourselves are not any different. And honestly, perfection not only doesn't exist, it's kind of boring when you think about it. Also, well, everything is perfect because it's here right now, and we get to decide the definition of perfect for ourselves. Instead of seeing errors, let's view unexpected outcomes as opportunities. That wobbly line you drew, it might capture the trembling energy of a deer better than the precise one ever could. That eye that's slightly larger than you intended, it might give your subject a captivating emotive quality that you hadn't planned for. Those unexpected lines, those proportions that seem a bit off, they're not mistakes. They're invitations to see differently, to explore new possibilities. They're the whispers of your wild creativity urging you to break free from the constraints of perfectionism and create the way that only you can create. Also, you're a human, not a machine, and I'm here to celebrate all of the beauty of what we humans create with our hands and hearts, rather than what a machine can perfectly execute, devoid of that spark of life we naturally imbue. When you observe an animal in nature, do you see perfection or do you see beautiful uniqueness? A bird with ruffled feathers, a coyote with an ear slightly askew. Nature is in the imperfections because, well, they're perfect, they're life. So why shouldn't we, as artists celebrating this wild world, also be delightfully imperfect? The next time your pencil doesn't follow the path you expect, take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders, relax your eyebrows, soften your face. Ask yourself, what if this unexpected mark is exactly what my drawing needs? Be curious about where this new direction might lead you. And you know what? Even if your drawing doesn't need that mark, maybe you can keep going anyway. Your imperfections are what make your art uniquely yours. They're your artistic fingerprint, as individual as the stripes on a tiger or the spots on a leopard. By embracing these quirks, you develop your own style, something far more valuable than technical perfection. Think about the great artists you admire. What draws you to their work? Is it technical perfection, or is it the way that they capture the spirit of their subjects? More often than not, it's the unique style, the particular way of making marks on paper that makes their art so captivating. When we let go of the need for perfection, we open ourselves to joy, experimentation, and true connection with our subjects. We no longer try to create a photographic representation, but rather an emotional one. We're capturing the essence of our wild kin, their spirits, their aliveness, and that includes all of their beautiful imperfections. Remember that every great artist started as a beginner. Every masterpiece was preceded by countless imperfect sketches. These aren't failures, they're essential steps on that journey. Also remember, more importantly, my dear wild-hearted creative, you are not a machine. You're a beautifully imperfect human being with a unique perspective and a wild creative heart. Your art is an expression of your connection to the natural world, a celebration of life in all its messy, imperfect glory. So next time you're tempted to judge your work harshly, just pause for a moment. Look at your mistake with curiosity rather than criticism. What can you learn from it? How does it make you feel? How might it actually enhance your representation of the wild being you're honouring? And embrace your imperfections. Celebrate them. In doing so, you're not just growing as an artist, you're connecting more deeply with the beautifully imperfect natural world around us. We need your art, my friend, in all its beautiful imperfection. The same thing this morning, I did a quick sketch first. It really was a very quick one. It took me less than half an hour, but I have a lot more familiarity with birds of prey, so it was much easier for me to find the form. I would like to probably spend a lot more detail on the feathers, but I have a strict time limit for this work, and that's for a couple of reasons. One, because I still have lots of other things to do, and B, it helps provide a boundary for me, so I don't feel like I'm going to keep going and end up making a 40-hour drawing that I'm going to sell at a very reasonable price for a 4-hour drawing, not a 40-hour drawing. Well, put up for sale, hopefully so. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. As I said, I do want to do some more softening of the feathers, but the main thing is always going to be the face, like the eye, what we're drawn to. And it was the same with the rhino, which is over there, so I can't reach it. And I wanted to leave some unfinished areas on it so that it looks like a drawing and not a photo.